What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Shemaveli, and hey, it's the first one, man. My humble opinion, bro. I got a special guest in the building, a legend at that. The whole nine, man. It's my one of my closest friends. He been doing his thing as a player and also as a coach. But without further ado, let me get right into it. Let me get right into it. Tom, what you got to say, bro?
Yo, it was good.
My boy.
Appreciate you having me on, bro. I'm
Hey,
excited.
that's
Excited
that's
for
small.
it.
That's small links, bro. You're the first one. You're part of the inaugural. Uh, my humble opinion, bro. So I definitely happy that you take the time out to
Mhm.
bless us with your presence, bro.
Yes, bro. Thanks for having me be a part of it for sure.
For sure, brother. But let's get right into it, dog. I don't hold you up. I
Yeah,
know you're a busy man, so let's get right into it,
yeah.
bro. So the first question I got for you: how did you get started playing sports, bro? What was that like? What was that experience like?
Well, I originally started as a track athlete. I did.
Mm,
I used to run the one, the two, 4x1, the 4x4 up and around until 12 and a half. I had played basketball, obviously, on the park and stuff like that, but
yeah.
track was more serious than basketball.
Right.
My cousin Nathaniel McKinney, he was an Olympian for the Bahamas, obviously, and I kind of wanted to follow in his footsteps. He was an inspiration to me in track. And then once I started playing basketball, everything just track stopped, and then everything was about basketball. So that's kind of how I started in sports. Obviously, in primary school, was you know known as one of the best athletes in the school, and for track though, not basketball,
Mm-hmm.
track. So that's kind of how I got my start in sports.
I got you. I mean, what people don't know is that although we more recently got a lot of hoopers,
Yeah,
track is the big thing back home in the Bahamas. So
yes, for
you know what
sure.
I mean, for sure.
Sure.
Like that's what I think. That's everyone first love
Hmm.
is track for real, for real. So what I mean, so growing up in the Bahamas, bro, what you would say it was like playing sports, like you know what I mean, like because you had the best of both worlds, but what was it like playing like back home in the Bahamas?
It was the first thing I could say, it was competitive, bro. I mean, everybody competed at a high level, even in track. But then basketball, it was a whole another thing. I think, where we at now today is completely different than where we used to be as far as like the fundamentals of the game and everything like that. People was more so just playing hard when I was coming up, and then the older guys like Mandela and them, they were more like starting to show us, how to really play the game.
Right.
So, but it was more competing, you guys, Donnie, all you all kind of was paving the way,
Yeah.
Mikey, all them was kind of
Mm-hmm.
paving the way
The
to,
boys.
yeah, just showing us like, what real basketball could be. I think from my point of view, growing up in Nassau. So it was more so competitive at first, but us as beings, we love to compete.
Oh yeah.
Everything is
Oh yeah.
serious as far as competitive. So that's kind of what it was like for me.
I got you, bro. I mean, that's like you say, bro. We as a country, bro, we just be prideful, bro.
Yeah,
So we don't like lose. We don't like to lose,
right,
bro. We
right.
do not like to lose. But with that, like I said, you had the best of both worlds. So I know you got the opportunity to, obviously play in the US. But so how did that opportunity to play in the US come about?
Crazy, bro, crazy. It's amazing how you don't really understand and know how things just be piecing together. So, um, my uncle Mitri. Demetrius, he was off the school. This was when I was 13. I think he was already off the school.
That's Fergie.
Yeah, maybe he was in, I want to say New York at the time, but my cousin Mikey was off the school as well at the time. And when I started to take basketball serious, I saw a lot of people started to go off to school. Like I said, my uncle, Mitri, and then Tony, Mikey, they was off to school playing ball, and a lot more people that I'm not naming. Obviously, just
sure, you can't catch everyone.
You can't name everyone.
No, but you're trying. I see.
Right. So a lot of guys were off to school, and I kind of put a desire in my heart to want to leave the country. Obviously, I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I was like, you know what, I want to go away to school too. But this guy by the name of Space, one day I'll never forget it. This Cedrica was on the girls basketball team. His daughter at H.O. Nash.
Okay.
I'll never forget it. Space came to my house one day, and he was like, he asked me if I wanted to go off to school. I was like, of course I will go. And then he was like, a coach from America coming. I want to say the GHS. He'd be there on Saturday at the park. On the court, excuse me. Come there, and try out or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So he came to my house, and then my aunt came for me, and she took me to GHS, and I was playing. So a lot of players there, bro. I can't remember who all was there, but a lot of players was there, and that's how I kind of got my start. There was Space that introduced me to the coach, or tell me to go to the GHS, and then I played. We was doing defensive drills, offensive drills, things like that, and that was the school. That was the coach for the school that my cousin Mikey was at already at the point.
Was that South Florida Prep, right?
South Florida Prep. That was South Florida Prep. Ray was there. Mikey was there. So many other hoopers was there, bro.
Right.
And so, he gave me a scholarship to come there. So that's how I got there. Space came to the house, told me to come to GHS, and then the rest is history.
The rest is history. So I know. So I remember South Florida Prep.
Yeah.
But also I know you got the opportunity after South Florida Prep to play at Sunrise. How did that come about? The Sunrise opportunity.
The Sunrise opportunity was kind of, like I say, you never know how teams play out. I left the school, and I left South Florida Prep, and I moved back to Nassau in December, and I ended up getting into C.R. Walker. So I was at C.R. Walker from January to June. I wasn't initially going to stay home, but I ended up telling, my parents about everything that was going on at South Florida Prep, some of the struggles I had there, and that I didn't want to be in that environment anymore. Right. Initially, my mom, she kind of refused. Like, she was like, "What you talking about?" So I kind of I let the cat out the bag when I just told her everything.
Right.
Like, this was been going on, and my dad was like, he don't want to go back. Don't let him go back. Then I ended up getting into C.R. Walker. So I'm in C.R. Walker, and there's a school named Arlington Country Day in Tallahassee, Florida, ACD. Where there was talks about me, going there. So they was getting in contact with coaches and, my mom for me to come to the showcase in Freeport, Tallahassee showcase.
Yeah.
To go to the showcase so I could meet them initially. That was my knowledge of it. So even though C.R. Walker was a part of the showcase, I didn't go with C.R. Walker. I went with me and my mom. Because in my mind, I basically thinking I only going there for Arlington Country Day to figure out how I can end up going to that school. Because I really didn't want to go back to Florida because of the situation at South Florida Prep.
It was that bad. Wow.
Yeah. Yes, bro. And so I figured I would want to, Tallahassee is 7 hours from Fort Lauderdale. So I figured, like, okay.
The ways from that.
Yeah, that's a little.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. You far enough.
Right. That's why I say you make that move. And so we went to the showcase, and Arlington Country Day never showed up. So that was kind of like a
sign. Yeah.
So it was really on my mind there because, like I say, in my mind, not I figured that that's why I was really going to the showcase
Right.
because of them. So I ended up playing in the showcase, and a few of the schools that was there wanted me, but that's where I met Coach Kyle. In my mind, I didn't really play well because my mind was all over the place. But my speed and my athleticism, I think, stood out to him.
Mm-hmm.
After the show, after I played, I ended up meeting him, talking to my mom, and we went there on a visit, saw everything, and then that's how I actually ended up going to Sunrise.
That's so great. And that's so crazy, bro. Because I mean, if Island and Country they did show up, and you know what I mean, it worked out with them, then you'd
Mm-hmm.
have never even go to the to Sunrise. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
That's how God works, bro. God knows best, bro. God
yes,
knows best, bro.
sure.
That's crazy, dog.
Yeah.
That is very crazy. But I know when you went to Sunrise because obviously you was my dog, so we
Mm-hmm.
close. I kind of
Yeah.
know your story.
Yeah.
Um, I know you had a chance to play with a bunch of him, and so I know obviously Buddy was there.
Yeah.
Who else was there?
Buddy was there. Nathan Bean was there.
Naden, yeah, Nate. Mm-hmm.
Nathan was there. Travis Munnins was there.
Travis Munnis is there. Yeah.
Don,
Hey, that slipped my mind. I didn't know Travis was there, bro.
yeah,
I
Dodge
did.
was there.
I did not realize Travis was there.
Dodge was there. Travis was there. Shad was
Wow.
there.
Wow.
Who else was there? So a lot of great
That is
community
crazy. I
players.
did not. Right, Travis is a sleeper one. I know everyone else. I did not realize Travis is there,
Mhm.
bro. That's why we need. That's why we need to hear stories like this, bro. Because
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know that, bro. I'm pretty
no,
sure a
that's
lot of people
why.
don't know
That's
that. I'm
why
pretty
for me,
sure.
though, to be honest, like that's why for me playing with the national team, sometimes
Hmm.
it's like crazy
Yeah.
because I play with,
Flashbacks.
yes, I play with dudes who play
Come
ice
up with yeah,
with
yeah, bro.
Shad and Travis. You know what I
That's
mean? Like,
crazy, bro.
yeah.
That's very. That's probably a
Even
surreal experience. Yeah,
Dayton,
bro.
Dayton was at Sunrise. He wasn't there when I was there, but he
Hmm.
also was at Sunrise as well.
At
So
some point, yeah.
yeah,
That's crazy, bro. So I mean, obviously you got to play with them. And I know you always like highly ranked and playing against like top tier talent night in and night out. So tell me, I mean, obviously like I know Buddy probably is the only one who went to the league, but like
Mm.
what was it like? I mean, just playing with a slew of Bahamians, bro, like that camaraderie and that, you know what I mean? Like that sense of pride.
yeah, it was amazing to be honest. I remember on my visit to Sunrise, the team, like Buddy was there, but
Mm-hmm.
they had a lot of other good players at Sunrise. Sunrise was loaded. It was loaded, right?
Yeah.
They wasn't playing at the level that we end up playing in my time there after Buddy left. Because, people have set the foundation and teams is just
Facts.
keep
Facts.
building. So,
Mm-hmm.
certain teams didn't even want to play us when me and Buddy was there together.
That's crazy,
Me,
bro.
Buddy, and Nathan. Certain teams didn't want to play us,
That's
and
crazy.
so so they kind of set the foundation for us. But it was crazy, bro. I mean, obviously we all connected quickly because
Mm-hmm.
even though we from different islands, we from the same place.
You're right.
So we connected quickly. We became brothers really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a blessing to be able to play with other great players. You know what I mean? And we pushed each other. We challenged each other. We was gym rats. This dude in the gym at 5, I in the gym at 5. You know what I mean?
Mm.
This
Yeah.
dude getting up extra shots, I getting up extra shots. And so that's how it was, bro. And the thing that I appreciated about it when we became really, really close.
Mm-hmm.
We just was brothers. There was no animosity between us. Like we genuinely wanted the best for each other. And to be honest, like when Buddy was there and a lot of people was coming in to see him, that's how a lot of people saw me. Because
That's your blessing, bro.
my ninth grade summer, I was supposed to play with Buddy and Perry Ellis, the AAU team. But
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
decided not to.
okay.
And so I was in the gym working over Coach Kyle, and I could remember vividly, bro, like Coach Kyle had to stop like in the middle of workouts to answer the phone because Buddy was blowing up. He was dropping like 35 on Shabazz Muhammad. Yeah,
Woo!
the phone was just blowing up, and all kind of coaches was calling Coach Kyle. And I in the gym, I working over him and Perry doing anything on the circuit. I working
Mm-hmm.
just trying to get better. And then going into my sophomore year, his senior year, I can remember all kind of people coming in to see him. Marquette, Memphis,
Wow.
obviously OU. You know what I mean? And that's when those guys really saw me. And my
Right.
first offer was from Oklahoma. They coming in to watch Buddy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of how it was, bro. We pushed each other. We really, really pushed each other, bro.
Right.
I can't tell you. I mean, Buddy can tell you to this day. I can't tell you how many times we played 1-on-1, bro. We used to play for hours, bro.
Bro, y'all know what it takes, bro. Y'all know. So first off, y'all know home. Y'all ain't had that luxury of being in the gym like that. You know what I
No,
mean? So I know y'all was taking full advantage of that and just trying
yeah,
to make sure y'all get that time in. And bro, bro, I know I won't get somewhere with this, so
mm,
we got to make it shaky up. So I get it. I definitely get it, bro. 100%. If anyone get it, I get it
yeah. It
for
was it
sure.
was crazy, bro. I mean, hours of 1-on-1, bro. It was hours. I mean, like it was so competitive. I remember coach telling, like, shutting down open gym for a little
Mhm.
period of time because everything would turn into like a 1-on-1 between me and Buddy. That's how he trying to score on me, I trying to score on him. Like we trying to
Mhm.
win, but ultimately it made both of us better.
Iron sharpen iron, bro.
It made me really, really get it. Obviously, because I was the youngster.
Right.
Me and Nathan was the youngsters at the time. It's coming
Hmm.
trying to work and make a name for ourselves. But Nathan was good also, bro. I mean, we was in
Yeah.
grade 10, but he was in grade 12. Nathan was, I mean, he could do everything on the
Yeah,
floor.
but Nathan, he's a big dude too, bro. He like what, 6'5",
6'5",
6'6"? Yeah,
yeah,
bro.
shooter, athlete. I
Yeah.
mean, like, he was really good too, bro. So, all of us was just trying to find our way, bro. And then came the Travis and Shards and Idaj and even Dejor was there. Dejor was there also.
I did not. I didn't. I think I know that, but I did not remember that. Oh
There
shit.
was a lot. I mean, as we talk, more names would come to my
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dejor was there also. They was kind of on the younger end
Right.
when me and Trav and Nathan was on the upper end. You know
Yeah,
what I
right.
mean? So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's how that was.
I feel it, bro. Hey, that's a lot of that's a
Yeah.
good stories, bro. Real talk. I mean, boy, I would say if we had to put like a I guess a school that really produced some top tier Bahamian players, bro. You
No
have to give it
question.
Sunrise, bro.
No question,
That's a lot because I feel like most of y'all went D1, bro. I
bro.
feel like most of y'all went
All
to
of
pretty
us
good
were
schools.
there. I
You see what I'm
mean,
saying?
yeah. I mean, Andre Sands was there. He from Freeport. Andre was there. He was a monster. But we had players. I
That's
mean,
bro.
even before us, bro. Uh, BJ was there. Barnaby.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you
That's
know
my
what I
boy.
mean?
That's bro.
Like all kind of behemoths came to that place, bro, and kind of set the foundation. BJ was obviously. I know BJ. That's my brother. He had the Sunrise connection as well.
Hmm.
But by the time, when I was in Freeport, I already know BJ played at Sunrise.
Right,
You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? So it's a lot of good players came through from the Bahamas in general.
For sure, bro. For sure. So I know you mentioned already the you had OU recruiting you. So this is a good segue into my next question. So obviously you committed to Michigan State,
Yeah.
right? So prior to committing to Michigan State, like what other offers you had on the table?
I had so Michigan State,
Mm-hmm.
Indiana, Oklahoma, Minnesota,
Whew.
Ole Miss, Kansas State, Iowa, Arkansas,
Ooh.
Memphis, St. Louis, um, a lot, bro, a lot of schools. But I initially, SMU,
Mm.
a lot of schools, bro.
Probably something you didn't even remember it. Not how
Yeah,
long ago that
yeah.
was.
I had a lot of offers, but I initially narrowed my list down to Oklahoma, Minnesota, and Indiana. Those were my last three schools, and I got recruited by some schools that never offered me. Like Kentucky recruited me pretty well, but they never offered me. UCLA,
Mm.
same thing.
Wow, I did not know that. I did not
Yeah.
know that, bro. I did
Oh
not know
yeah.
that.
I thought I was going to Kentucky, bro. I never forget. I will never forget when Kenny Payne walked in our gym. This was my junior year. When I saw Kenny Payne walk in the gym, bro, I was like, wow.
It's
Because
crazy.
Kentucky was my dream school.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I mean, anytime Cal came to see me play, I never really played well.
That's crazy.
That was
That's
my
crazy,
dream
bro.
school. So those were the that's what's the list. I'm missing some other schools, but that was the main list, I think. And then I want to say Creighton too as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I will cut you off, right? So that means, ironically enough, right? If Coach Cal was, he here now. So he
Yeah.
at now.
Yeah.
So ironically enough, if he was here, you might have been here with little bro.
Exactly.
I mean, if time, time it was, how life goes. But that's crazy though. How life be working, boy. Wow, that is very crazy.
I know, bro.
That is very crazy, bro. He got like, yep, little bro had his dream coach, and you'd have been playing for your dream coach.
Yeah, I wanted to play in Kentucky bad, bro.
I feel you, bro. That's very crazy. But
It almost happened, but it didn't. It didn't. So
I feel that. So what ultimately led you to committing to Michigan State? And you said you didn't mention them in your final
no,
school. So how did that come about?
this is how it happened. So because of the situation at South Florida Prep Christian Academy,
Mm-hmm.
bro, that school wasn't accredited with the NCAA.
Oh
Right?
man,
So my
right.
senior year of high school, I was taking 11 classes. I was taking freshman English and senior.
Woo!
Oh, I had no lunch break. One of my teachers was kind enough to let me eat lunch in a class. I had
Wow.
no lunch period, and so I used to, bro. I barely slept my senior year of high school. So one day doing homework in one of the classrooms before practice, and I would never forget it. My coach, I had took my visit to Oklahoma so far, and then my visit to Minnesota already. My high school coach, Coach Kyle, he came into the classroom and he said, Tom, if UCLA, um, how did he word it? He said, if UCLA or Kentucky or Michigan State want to jump back in on your recruitment,
Mm-hmm.
would you let them? And I said, well, coach, it depends on who it is.
Right.
He said, Michigan State called for you today. I said, okay, let them in. So I went to his office. Bro, I said it just like that. I said, let them in. We went to his office and he was like, okay, you already narrowed down your list. So you
Right.
call these other coaches and let them know you're going on a visit to Michigan State.
Mm.
From what I heard, the story, Michigan State had called about me my junior year of high school, but I was very close to, going to Kansas.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I was very close to going to Kansas. And so, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
Mm.
And, but my high school coach said that to Michigan State my junior year, that he's close to going to Kansas. So,
Oh, don't even
yeah,
bother.
he had to agree with him. So they came back my senior year that day. I said, let them in. I called other coaches. And I remember, Tom Green was just telling me, he was like, just make sure we your last visit. That's what he said.
That's Indiana, right?
Indiana.
At the time, yeah.
And so I talked to Coach Izzo that night, and it felt like we known each other for a long time. We
Oh
talked,
man.
we clicked. Bro, I think the next day I was on campus at Michigan State. They flew my mom from the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
I went there. But this is a true story, bro. I would always tell people in my recruitment process, they would, when people would interview me, they would ask me how would I know where the place was for me, and I would always just tell them, I would know in my heart.
Right.
I would know in my heart what's the right kind of environment for me.
Right.
And when I was at Michigan State, me, my mom, my high school coach, I remember sitting down in the office with Coach Izzo and everyone talking, and I just having a moment that just around, and I felt, bro, this was one of the times where I felt like a knowing intuitively in my heart that the Lord was telling me, like,
It's the
Tom,
right place.
I set this up just for you. And at that moment, I didn't say anything. I felt like that's what I was hearing in my heart. Well, like, Tom, I set this up just for you. Just like that. That's kind of the unction I was feeling. And so after we left the visit, I was talking to my school coach. I said, Coach, I know where I go. And he said, well, I said, I going to Michigan State. I said, and quite frankly, there's nothing I could see at Indiana that would make me change my mind because of what I believe I heard.
Right.
That's what I told him. And he was like, well, you still got to be professional. You got to take your visit to
Right.
Indiana.
Right.
I went to Indiana. and I went to the visit, and but it was actually absolutely a really, really great visit from how they breaking down my game. And Tom Green is phenomenal at that stuff, bro. Like he showed me everything. You know what I mean? It was very, very good visit. But at the end of the day, bro, I just felt in my heart like Michigan State was the move for me. And even though, like, I mean, Oklahoma recruited me for 3 years, Indiana recruited me for 3 years, bro.
Right.
Michigan State recruited me for 3 weeks.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So that's why, like, in my now, it was a good visit at Michigan State as well. I connected with the players. You know, Coach Izzo was like, this is a match made in heaven kind of situation, because at that point in time, they lost out on Tyler Ulis and Devin Booker, which was supposed to be a package deal in Michigan State.
I know that.
They ended up going to Kentucky.
Okay.
So I came around at that time too. So even though I initially at that point in time wasn't their number one pick, and obviously they wasn't my number one pick because they wasn't in my last 3 schools.
Right.
They lost out on some guys, and you know, Fife called Colin, and so that's kind of how it went, bro. And I decided that that's where I was gonna go. So that's how that happened.
That is crazy. That's crazy, bro. Like,
Yep.
so I mean, sorry. Let me ask you this then: if it wasn't Michigan, if Michigan State never came back into play, what you think the school that you would have chose?
I think it might have been Indiana, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I think it might have been Indiana, or it might have been Indiana, bro. OU, obviously, maybe Indiana or OU.
Right.
Right. OU, obviously, to probably the most people, made the most sense. You know, Buddy was there. But I was like, you know, this, looking back on it, I probably should have. But in my mind, I was like, you know, this Buddy,
this is time to shine. Yeah.
This Buddy stuff, you know what I mean? And I didn't, not to say that I couldn't mash with that. But
I mean, you did it in high school.
Yeah, exactly. Buddy was really rocking, and he was really making a push there. You know, so I was kind of like, you know, okay, so maybe OU or Indiana for sure. Like Minnesota did a great job in recruiting me. You know, I still know the coach to this day. Some of the coaches that recruited me there, still know them to this day. They did a great job, but I don't think I would have went there. You know what I mean? So between Indiana or OU.
I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, at the end of the day, bro, I feel like you say, bro, God knows best, and I personally think you made the right choice.
Yeah.
I personally obviously would have loved to see you play with Buddy again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like, obviously, like, y'all had the country divided in terms of who they could root for. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, bro, I mean, you know, you wanted to find your own path, and you know, I feel like it worked out at the end of the day, because I feel like, you know, you still did your thing at Michigan State, and then, you know, now you're doing your thing on, you know, the coaching level. So
yeah,
it is what it is. But I got another question. So you did commit to Michigan State.
Yep.
What was it like playing for legendary Coach Tom Izzo, bro?
It was tough, bro. It was great, but it was tough. Coach is he's very demanding, bro. I mean, he's very, very demanding, especially being a point guard there. He was a 3-time captain there. I believe only 7 in the history of Michigan State basketball. I was one of them.
That's crazy.
So that was, everything kind of falls on the shoulder of the point guard there. So it was very, very tough. We won a lot, but it was tough. He was demanding, but he did it with love. You know, he loves his players. You know, he has relationships and connections with all of them. And so, but it was great, bro. Like I said, we won a lot. You know, got a chance to play in the Final Four.
Yep.
First started the Final Four as a freshman. You know,
that's crazy, bro.
That's crazy. Big Ten championships. You know what I mean? It was great. Played with a lot of great players, things like that. It was great, bro. But it was tough. It wasn't easy.
I got you. I feel like, at the end of the day, bro, like that's D1, bro. Like the expectations. That's D1, 1, and then 2. Like, that's D1 out of like a dominant basketball program. But that's one of the top basketball programs in the nation, bro. So like, I definitely could see, you know, why, like, they have a standard of excellence.
Bro, I mean, standard of excellence, no question, bro.
For sure.
No question. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, like, especially back home in the Bahamas, they look at it they just think it's basketball. Some
And
people
it
don't.
really ain't. It's a lot of politics behind it,
It's
bro.
so much more that stuff
Oh
that
yeah.
goes into this thing. Um, with basketball in America, bro, it's so much more stuff that goes on
Yeah.
into it behind the scenes. It ain't
Yeah.
just never what it looks like.
On the surface. At
No,
all.
never. But
Mm-mm.
it was a great time for me. I met a lot of people. Like I was a part of a lot of winning.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but it was tough, but it wasn't easy because we wanted to win a national championship. We never really got there, but
Close.
we wanted to get close. We wanted to win a title. So
Right.
and then obviously playing against Buddy in the Sweet 16.
That was crazy.
That was
That
that
was
was
crazy. That was crazy,
huge. You know
bro.
what I mean?
That was
That was crazy because it was
that's what I say. Like y'all had the country divided. You see,
yeah,
that same little tidbit right there.
it was crazy because it's like, bro, that's one of my best friends. We put in so much time together. I remember, bro, when Buddy had surgery, and then Buddy had surgery his sophomore year, his freshman year. I can't remember one of those years. Like I
His
was,
leg.
yeah, on his foot.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I was one of the first people he called after surgery. That's how close we was.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to be able to play against him, and he's having, such a great year. I believe he won Big 12 Player of the Year's junior year and senior.
Senior year, bro. A lot of people didn't do that, bro.
You know what I mean? So it was
Yeah.
just, and knowing where we both came from and how we came up, it was great. So I did a lot of great things at Michigan State, bro. Like even just off it was great, bro. It was tough, but it was great.
Now Tum Nairn's turn. And Tom Izzo is going to have a tough time.
Tom's going to be crying, I guarantee he is. Yep. It's hard to explain what this kid has meant to this program.
I feel like. I mean, at the end of the day, bro. Again, you are where you are. I feel like because a big part of Michigan State and what the stuff you learn from Coach. You know what I mean? So another big time situation that happened there. You got a chance to play at the bottom for Atlantis.
Oh yeah, wow.
Right? How was that like playing in your hometown in front of everyone and and we ain't gonna talk about the big dunk. We ain't gonna talk about that, but how was it playing for the hometown, playing in front of the hometown and getting that experience?
I can't express that experience in words because the back of and our bench, the whole, it was my entire family, my great grandmother, my grandmother, my grandfather,
Right.
cousins, my friends was in the gym. I mean, bro, it was amazing to be home. I took, our bus. The coaches didn't come, but I took all the players in the hood. All of them to be in town where I grew up, and I showed them my first basketball court. I said, "This is where I grew up playing basketball." You know what I mean? Like I showed them where the crate court was on the rocks and the glass borders, in the dirt.
Yeah.
I took them to the clinic yard for them to see. One of my courts was up here, so it was a special experience because they kind of got to see my culture, how I grew up, why I worked as hard as I worked, why I played the way I played, and to be able to just be home. And it was special, after the games, the corridor used to be packed with people with the news, my family, my friends. I mean, Coach got a chance to meet my great grandmother, my dad.
Crazy,
and my
bro.
dad. Got a chance to meet my dad, my great grandmother, my grandmother. And I remember the news being there and my mom on one side, my Grammy on one side, my dad on one side. You know what I mean? And just it was amazing, bro. It was amazing. One of the things I respect about Coach, bro. We play in Wichita State, and this is also crazy, bro. To be honest with you, bro, my journey in the basketball has been one I couldn't write myself. All the connections I've made and the things that have happened to me, bro, it is not only a product of good decision making, but it's a product of the Lord's grace and His plan. I just being real with you, bro, because things that have happened in my life in terms of basketball and where I came from. I started really playing organized hoop at 13, bro. That's late. That ain't early.
That is
You
late.
know? And so a lot of things. So we play in Wichita State, bro. In the fourth place game. The last game was like I think we finished fourth place. But I'll never forget this, bro. We doing the starting lineups and stuff like that. And obviously they was announcing me last.
Mm-hmm.
And they announced me. And like I said, my family in the back there. And bro, before the game, Izzo bring everybody in there. He was crying, bro. And he was like, guys, like I'm looking at Tum's family right now with tears in his eyes, bro. He's like, I'm looking at Tum's family right now, and this means so much to them. Like, let's win this game, fam. And so that's the kind of coach he is, bro. I never,
Yeah.
bro.
That's crazy, bro.
I ended up having my career high assists in that game. I had 12 assists in that game. But this is the thing. My high school coach, Coach Kyle, was an assistant at Wichita State at the time, bro.
Wow. So that all just bring it all together.
All together. So we in the Bahamas, we in Nassau.
Right. Where you recruit you. Not extra, but you know what I mean, in the Bahamas.
Yeah. I mean, Coach Kyle come to the hood before, bro, the host where I grew up.
Yeah.
But this was the most special moment. That was special. So my coach who's pouring into me now, a coach who's like, Kyle is one of my best friends to this day. He's like a dad to me to this day. This day, bro. Guy who did so much for me in my life on the other end, right? But this was the most powerful thing, bro. When I say after the game, we'd be in the corridor or whatever, and I stand and I have a picture in my phone of it's me and Coach Kyle embracing him. Kyle, he crying, bro. And he just telling me how proud he is of me, bro. And my dad has his hand on Coach Kyle's back, like rubbing his back, telling him how great of a job he did with his son.
That's crazy, bro.
That's how, you know what I mean?
Everything is coming together, bro. Like, wow, dog. Like,
that's what made
bro.
Even the more special, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was good.
Bro, boy, I wish I was there to see that in person. I mean, obviously watching on TV, but modest like just knowing like you know that like the emotions and bro, I know like obviously I know you from we was youths.
Yeah.
So like knowing how far you came from and yeah, you said that one moment but kind of just brought it all together. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
wow.
What people don't notice, they don't really know the intricate parts of the journey. They just sometimes when people see you, they just see you.
Right.
That's one of the I say this very loosely. Fame, whatever the case may be, or just being known, is that people only get to see you in a certain light.
Right.
They only see what they want to see or whatever's out there. They don't know
deception.
Deception. They don't know the intricate part. You would never know. Okay, this is my high school coach on this end. He never met my dad. At this. You get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
People don't really see that. That's what is to me. That's what makes the journey, and what makes it special. For all the little intricate parts of the story, which everyone has a story.
Right. I definitely agree with that, bro. For sure. So let's get into I guess a memorable. I mean, obviously you just gave us a memorable Tom Izzo moment, but like, I guess something that would maybe be funny or like, since that one was so heartwarming, let's give me a funny Tom Izzo moment that somebody be like, mother say like I know my teammates if they had this right now, like bro, they can remember this, like you know what I mean? Give me one of them stories.
Let me see. Well, so many of them I can't even think of.
But if you can't think of a funny one, any story that you feel like, like, wow, like it was a moment that I had or a moment that we had with the team that, something that he said or whatever, bro.
I would say
a quote, something, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say my freshman year, I was playing Louisville in the Elite Eight game. And the starters used to sit in the front of the, in the locker room. We used to sit in the front row, and we sitting there, bro, and he talking about the journey, and he said, give me 2 hours, fellas. He said, just give me 2 hours. 2 hours for 50, 60, 70 years of memories, for memories of a lifetime. Just give me 2 hours. And you know what I mean, bro? And we gave him 2 hours, bro. We was in the Final Four.
That's
and that was a very, very memorable, It's a lot of stories, bro. But that one came to my mind.
I mean, that's the one would come to your mind first, and that's a very, very important one, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like that. I definitely like that.
Yeah.
I definitely like that. So after you graduated, all that good stuff. I know you had an opportunity to work with the Phoenix Suns.
Mm-hmm.
What was that experience like? And then tell us about, like, obviously, another Bahamian legend was there, Mr. Deandre Ayton. So how was that whole experience? Getting a chance to work with the Phoenix Suns, and then obviously, like, seeing another Bahamian legend on the day-to-day.
Yeah, it was good, bro. It was an amazing experience. I learned a lot. I had a great boss, Igor. He had a good staff. But I mean, the team was young, obviously, but and the Suns wasn't what it is now. They wasn't
Right.
there. And I even think organizationally, personally, I think obviously, like I say, things grow, and so it just got better with time, and they knew what they were doing. The front office knew what they were doing as far as their vision and what they had in mind. We got that going a year with 8 months really, but it was great, bro. The first thing, I never met did I meet DA before? Yeah. I think I met DA before that. A long time before that.
Briefly, he was in DA. He was in DA yet.
Look, he was younger because we were trying to get him to Sunrise.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, I knew what he did at Arizona. One of my first impressions of him was just wow, bro. I had never seen anything like it, bro.
I mean, the number one pick, bro.
I mean, the game just looked easy for him, bro.
Yeah, I mean, bro,
easy, bro. I mean, I the first impression was just wow. This dude is really good.
He's the real deal.
And he's 7 feet tall, and he can move like a god, and he can actually shoot it.
Yeah,
He's athletic, and he's strong, and he's just a rookie. So
yeah.
I mean, everything, he was the number one pick for a reason, bro. To me, I consider DA a generational talent, bro.
I agree.
And there's no bias in it. He's a realist, bro.
I agree.
There's no bias in it.
See it firsthand.
But I think he's a generational kind of talent with his size, his skill, and his ability, bro. So I was just amazed at the way at the things he could do at that size.
I got you.
It was amazing to be around, to see him every day and see him putting in work, and as he
progress.
He grew, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, that's another thing, bro. Like, life is just take you so much, it's like different places, and you just never know, bro. Like, for you to be with the Suns, and then at the time, I think it was only like him and Buddy in the league, right?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, obviously Eric Gordon and Clay them for sure. I'm talking about, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You actually, all set and whatnot, but
yeah.
That's great. But it's crazy. So it's crazy for you to actually get the opportunity. Like, it's 30 teams in the NBA, bro.
Yeah.
For you to get that opportunity with the Suns to connect with another Bahamian, like God, bro. That's you know how the world works, bro. It's just, boy, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
That's why I said, my journey, I couldn't
Real talk.
Couldn't write it. Everyone have a plan and what they see they could do and they think is better, but I couldn't write it, bro. Like, I did a lot of amazing. I was 23, a part of an NBA staff at 23. That's young, bro. I didn't know that was gonna happen.
That's very young, bro.
But it was amazing to get a chance to be a part of an NBA organization, but obviously doing it with a Bahamian great. That was so special. He's one-on-one, bro. That dude is a generational talent in my mind.
I definitely agree. I agree, bro. I agree. He get a lot of flack sometimes, but
again,
no bias, bro. Like, it is what it is. Mine is the number one pick, and bro, generational, bro.
But also, he get a lot of flack, but it's also like those people don't understand his story,
right?
Because he has a story as well,
right? Right.
It's always easier to say what you would do if you were someone else, bro.
It is.
Good point. It's easy for me to say, if I was 6'8", I could be doing,
Right. Hey, fun fact, if it was though, hey.
Oh yeah.
Hey, listen to me, bro. This would be a different conversation right now.
Right, exactly.
You'd
say that to say people, they do say what they say about DA, bro. You don't know, not you, I saying you in general, you don't know
Yeah.
yourself of being the number one pick. You don't know where that dude came from and all he endured to get where he's at, bro. The
Right.
pressure of coming from where you come from, being who you are, working as hard as you work, being the number one pick, and having to uphold that's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Weight of a shoulder of a young man, bro. So
Sure.
he may not be doing what people think he could do, but you don't understand it because you're not him.
Right.
You weren't in this
Right.
position, you weren't in his shoes. So a lot of times people don't give other people grace because they just feel, oh, he's this big and he should be able to do this. No, bro, that dude have so many different weights on his shoulder that he's carrying, but he's carrying so many people with him. He's been through so many things. Bro, he has an amazing story. The fact that the fact that that dude was a number one pick, considering all that he's went through, bro, is amazing, bro.
Right.
So I always, like I said, as a realist,
Mm-hmm.
I always like to look at teams from a big picture standpoint.
All right.
What Diaz accomplished is amazing, bro. Considering where he came from and what he went through, it's amazing. And nobody, seemed like everybody thought he was going to be an NBA player. So, you know what I mean? Like people, they call him tall boy because he was tall when he was young.
Right.
But I mean, you thought this dude was going to the NBA. That
Right.
dude worked and worked and worked. I mean, just like Buddy. Like nobody thought Buddy was going to the NBA. Let's be real, bro.
I mean, at the same time, no one ever think Behemoth's period, bro. Like it hard for
So
ain't much us, bro.
no. So he worked, and look what happened. And DA did the same, bro. So those people, that's really, you don't know someone's struggles and story, and the fact that he's at where he's at, bro, is special.
Right, you shouldn't speak on it for sure. I
Yeah.
definitely get it, bro. So transitioning, you said you was at Phoenix. You had an opportunity to work with the Suns organization.
Yeah.
And then I think right after that, you transitioned into being a high school coach, right?
You
Or was it
know,
before that.
no. After Phoenix, I went back to Michigan State as a graduate assistant. I believe.
Okay, grad assistant. All right,
I was a grad assistant for 2 seasons. And then I went to be in the high school head
high
coach.
school coach. So how was that experience? Transitioning, back into the high school scene,
Mhm.
and then having an opportunity to coach at your alma mater, bro.
It was good, bro. It was great. I mean, I learned a lot. As a head coach, you learn stuff that no one could teach you from a book.
Right.
When to call the time, or when to do this, when to do that. You can't read it. So
Right.
that stuff you learn by feel. So it was great, especially to be back at Sunrise, where a place that meant so much to me. It was great. I learned a lot, bro. And, it's helped me be the coach I am today for sure, because I had to be organized. I had to learn certain things. I had to do certain things as a head coach, and I had to rely on assistant coaches. I had to rely on people that was working with me. So it was good. Yeah.
I got you, bro. I mean, that's at the end of the day, bro. I feel like, bro, like you say, steps. All these different steps helping you to get where you are right now. So,
Yeah.
so after Sunrise, you coached at Southern Utah, correct?
Yes. After Sunrise, I coached in Southern Utah.
What was that experience like?
It was awesome, bro, because that was more of a career move than anything for me.
Right.
Because, when my boss initially called me, he just had kind of the same vision I had, bro. And it was like he was talking about stuff that meant a lot to me. And so being able to jump from there, from Sunrise to Southern Utah, and then, it was great, bro. I've been learning a lot from him. A lot. Yeah.
I got you. So, and then from Southern Utah, you took the jump to where you at now,
Bowling
Bowling
Green.
Green.
Yeah.
So how what was that? Same boss. Okay, I didn't, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So he brought you with him.
Yeah, he brought me with him.
Okay.
Yeah, he called me and he was like, Bowling Green, would you go with me? I was like, I said, I think so. So we ended up coming in. Most of us here, bro. He brought most of us with him.
That's dope, bro. I didn't know that. And that's why we need to have these conversations, bro. Like people need to tell their stories, though. I did not know. Obviously, me and you tight, but I did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
I did not know that, bro. But
because it really don't happen a lot in the profession where a head coach brings everybody.
Right. They usually, the school usually be like, hey, we need fresh start.
Right.
Yeah, I feel that. I definitely feel that. All right, so damn, that's good, bro. That's really good. So I want to jump into the national team experience, bro. A lot of people don't know you. you was one of the probably the only people in the world who was a coach and a player.
Literally,
You know what I mean? No, legit. You see what I'm saying? You probably one of the only people in the world who actually is a coach and a player, bro, which is very, very dope, bro. Obviously, you're still young.
Right.
But, I mean, you know, a lot of people don't get to play for their national team and coach the college team, bro. That's a very rare occasion. So tell me about the national team experience, bro, and, you know, more specifically this summer, bro, like almost qualifying for the Olympics. Like, how was that?
Bro, it was amazing. I can't. Bro, it was amazing. I mean, wow, it was amazing, bro. Because you think about all the guys that came before you and built it, bro.
Right.
And first off, to be a coach and to play never happened before in the history of basketball ever. So that's special to be a part of that.
Very special.
I mean, bro, to be one game out of the Olympics, we have 400,000 people in the Bahamas, being up 45 million. Like, come on, bro. It was amazing, bro. I mean, we were right there. We lost by 8.
8
against the number 2 team in the world, bro.
8, bro.
I mean, that seems so. When you hear someone say, you just say, "Oh, it's Spain versus the Bahamas," but no, it's way bigger than that, bro.
Way bigger.
Island. This is a 700 islands and keys against.
the juggernaut, the big Spain, bro. Spain got cities bigger than the Bahamas, bro.
Literally,
you know, bigger than our population, bro. Like
literally,
sure,
5 million people versus 400,000. Come on, bro.
Right.
I mean, it was a blessing, bro, to be around so many great players and so many great coaches, and I can't put it into words, bro. That was the best basketball experience I got in my life.
Wow, and that's coming from a man who play at the D1 level, coach at the D1 level, play coach at the NBA level, like bro. And you saying that's the best, bro? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro.
Because it's the world, bro. Like that right. Like making it to Olympics would be like it's greater than the NBA finals, bro.
All right, that's country. That's country. You know it's like, a different type of pride.
You get picked, selected to be a part of something that's special and represent your country. It ain't no greater feeling, bro. And to do it with people you know and love and genuinely care about. And the last 2 summers, bro, was amazing. But there's so many more summers before that.
Right. To get to that point.
Get to that point. But it was amazing, bro. It was amazing.
For real, bro. Before we I will give you your flowers now.
Appreciate it,
let you know I'm proud of you, bro. Like, because, you know, obviously, like, you've been coaching and dealing with other stuff.
Yes.
So basketball, per se, for yourself, wasn't really, like, a main focus, you know what I mean? So for you to kind of, like, snap back into, like, player and then back into coach, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's, bro, people don't know, bro. I don't know personally, obviously, but I could, just from being a hooper, I could just imagine, like, bro, like, my boy had to really, like, switch it, bro. Like, you had to get prepared to play against, like you say, Spain and these other people who play in basketball for a living.
Yeah.
And then you have to snap back into, I got to be a player now. Like, that's crazy, bro. So, I'm giving you flowers now, dog. Real talk. That's a big deal, bro. It's a big deal.
So, what I would do is, it's crazy, bro, because all the coaches, so what I would do is whenever I got the okay that, my boss would allow me to go and play, I would work out for 3 weeks, bro. One of our assistant coaches would work me out for 45 minutes straight, no water break, on court, 45 minutes straight. And I just was really, all I needed to do was feel the ball and do a lot of stuff where it was high pace, so I had my wind. I would do that for 3 weeks. And when I would tell people that, they'd be like, no way, bro. No way, it only take 3 weeks.
Right.
But I would take 3 weeks because my job is so grueling that I can't take anything else. So you know what I mean? So that's how I would do it. That's how I would prepare to play. And then physically speaking, I keep myself in pretty good shape. I lift weights. But from a cardiovascular perspective, that's what I would do. And then once you get the training camp and stuff and you competing, it even, you get more back into game shape.
Right.
So, it's crazy.
That's dope, bro. I mean, boy, You don't know, bro. That was such a prideful and proud moment, bro. Like knowing how, like you say, knowing like you only have bro 400,000 people versus these countries with millions, bro, and getting that close, like, bro, people don't know, bro. And as hoopers, bro, from the Bahamas, bro, people don't know like how big of a deal that was, bro.
Bro, it was
That
crazy.
was a very big deal, bro.
Bro, when I got back to America and I was on the road, I went from Spain, bro. This is how crazy it is. I went from Spain back to Ohio. The next day, I was on the road recruiting.
That's crazy. So you was tired as hell.
I was tired, bro. On the road recruiting, and coaches was coming up to me like, "Man, we was going home. We was trying to rush home to watch you guys, man."
Yeah, that's
I was like,
that's
"What?"
yeah, bro. That's a
It was
different type.
everyone was watching. The whole world was watching,
Different. That
bro.
was a different type of
I was
deal,
like,
bro.
wow. I was
Different
like,
type of deal, bro.
yeah,
Even
coaches was coming up to me like, I commend you, man, for you being
real
able to do
talk.
this. And then I was right on the road, bro.
Real talk, bro. That's different. Bro, it takes a different type of animal to do what you did, bro. Real talk, bro. Ain't much people can do that, bro. That's bro. Like what you say about DA just now. 101 by time. 101, dog. Real talk. That different, bro. That different, bro. But that may be it, bro. Again, I feel like this is another segue into another question. I feel like obviously we perform so well, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk with some of the young bulls, bro. Like VJ, Donnie, Dayton, Sammy. You know what I mean? Like and the future of the national team. What you think? Like you think the next time we have a shot to qualify, you think this can be the team that can get us over the top?
Yeah, I believe so, bro. I mean, VJ different. The young fella special.
Yeah.
Ooh, the young fella special, bro. Special in every regard.
Yeah.
Mentality, work ethic. He different, bro. Different.
That's big.
Different, bro. See him being a top 3 pick for sure.
Oh yeah, man.
He's
I don't see nothing less. I don't see nothing
Donnie's
less.
special too. Donnie's special too.
I think he's about to get picked too.
I know. Yeah, for sure.
I think he's about to go too.
Yeah, Donnie's special as well. He didn't get to play much, but Donnie's special with his size, his skill set. Special as well. Dayton coming. Dayton he's a really, really good player, bro. He's a really good young player. He plays the game the right way. So, he plays on both ends of the floor. You know what I mean?
That's very important in today's
Sammy.
Right.
Sammy special too. All 4 of them special in their own regard, and I think all of them could have an impact on helping the Bahamas get to where ultimately where we want to be, just because you name those guys. Right. Just talking about the guys you name. So all of them are special in their own ways. Obviously, I believe Donnie and Fiji, both, have a chance to be in the NBA, obviously speaking. But but then also too, Nato, Dominic, Dominic's special too.
Right.
So we have a lot. Dominic is really special. We have a lot of talent, bro. You know what I mean? That's where sometimes it's tricky because
everyone can't go.
Everyone can't go, but everyone could go.
Could go, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We only 12, but being like, oh, this one is so much better than no. That ain't in my mind. I think that ain't the way I see it. So I think definitely those core group, and then obviously other people that we haven't named. Those guys are definitely like right in the position to kind of make the next push for sure.
Yeah. You get more young ones. Kai didn't play. And I feel like if Kai played that, I feel like personally, bro, that was a missing link, bro, because it was a lot of we got Keno, we got DA as bigs, you got Donnie and whatnot and Sami, but I feel like Kai would have that different dynamic, bro, like defensively for sure, like, and he'd have been able to help DA down there, because DA obviously ain't as defensive minded as Kai. Kai really is beyond that, by trying to block your ball and you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It is what it is. So hopefully the next time we have everyone we need to have there. You know what I mean? I think we will too. And I feel like, bro, this obviously I feel like we quote unquote miss a window because, when the next time come, bro, Eric EG probably could be retired. But Buddy could be on probably his last leg of hooping. DA probably still could be good because DA only 26, 27, so he still could be he still could be in his prime. So
Yes.
and then you got a VJ. I mean, I feel like we still could be like you say, bro. We still got a shot, bro.
We do.
And then we don't know some of these other young hoopers who coming up now what they gonna look like in the next 2-3 years, bro. So we have a lot of I think we have a lot of promise, bro, for sure, dog. And then I feel like you probably I don't know if you could be playing, but I know you could be connected with the team in some fashion. You know what I mean? So your knowledge and your coaching abilities can be needed as well. So, but yeah, bro, that's good, bro. I'm excited for the future of the national team.
Yeah,
For sure, bro.
I'm
excited, bro.
brother.
Real talk, bro. I see it. If you look in, I gotta probably put the camera up a little bit, but you see the little flag there.
Yeah.
You see the big flag up there, bro. Always rapping, dog. You know what I mean?
Never
Never forget where I come from, bro.
I know
Where I go.
Yeah.
You know how I go, bro. But all right, let's get into these rapid fire questions, bro.
All right.
This is a little exciting part of the segment, and I feel like you know what I mean. Everyone got like this portion for sure as well. But let's start off with this one. So Kendrick or Drake?
Kendrick or Drake? Sure. Bro, I can tell you no lie. They both great at what they do.
Yeah.
I know Kendrick up the song of the summer.
Drake had the catalog.
The song of the summer.
Right, the summer. Yeah.
I think Drake, bro.
So Drake. Okay, so Drake. All right. So you got Drake.
I go on Drake.
Got you. I got another one for you. Kendall G. Isaacs or the Breslin Center?
Say it again.
Kendall G. Isaacs or the Breslin Center?
I got this way, bro. Kendall.
All right, Kendall. So you go with Kendall, guys. You go with Kendall.
Brass number 2.
I got you. Honorary mention. Honorable mention.
Yeah.
I got you. Kobe, LeBron.
Braun.
Okay.
Braun.
Got you. Funniest teammate ever. That's all across all the board. College, high school, everything. Funniest teammate ever.
Bro, I like, bro, between and national team, college, whatever.
Everywhere, yeah.
I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Well, it might be between. I can make you between names.
Okay.
It could be between Buddy.
Oh man.
Keno.
Funny.
And DA, bro.
Ayton funny?
What? I can throw there too. I can throw Willis.
Willis funny too. All right, I didn't know that. I know Keno funny. I ain't never really been around Buddy, and I ain't never really been around DA, but I know Keno, and I ain't really been around Willis, but I know Keno funny for sure.
M4. I give him M4 right now. I give him M4.
I got you.
Any team I've been on, bro. Funny, bro.
I got you. Okay, top 10 funny. All right, I got you, bro. So the last question I got for you is this the Bahamian one? Bamboo Shock or Siamese?
Bamboo, bro.
All the way?
Bamboo.
Right.
That's the first place I go when I touch down.
I think the last time when you link up, I take you there. They take you to Bamboo, hey? That's the last.
You know, bro. Bamboo, bro.
That's
see
crazy.
so much when I go on my daddy's be like, bro, you can't count like that. Yeah, bro, Bamboo.
You know, man, use a man who's wake up every day, bro. So you good. You could deal with that, bro. That's small licks.
Bamboo.
I feel all right, cool. So that's a good little farm. So you say you got Drake, you got Kendall, you got Braun. You see, give me 4. You give me Buddy, Ayton, Willis, and Keno, and then you say Bamboo. All right, I got you, bro.
They know they funny too, bro.
I got you.
One thing we do on them trips is laugh, bro.
Oh yeah, you got to, bro. That's a part of the journey. You gotta crack jokes. You gotta crack jokes, bro. So since we finished with the rapid fire, let's end on this one, man. Give me some advice you have for upcoming hoopers in general. Obviously, we're from the islands, so I feel like the Bahamian hoopers definitely would feel more appreciative and listen to what you're saying.
Yeah,
seeing that you've been on that level and still on that level. So, what advice you have for upcoming hoopers?
I think the biggest thing is, bro, you have to limit distractions. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, everybody want to make it to the NBA, or whatever, or professional basketball in general. But that don't just happen. You have to work and you have to sacrifice and dedicate so much of your life. Not yet, I guess yet. I ain't say time. I said your life because your time is your life.
Correct.
Like, bro, I can tell you how many birthdays, funerals, special occasions I miss. I've been living in America since I was 13. I just turned 30, bro. So I've been living in America longer than I've been living in Nassau.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of sacrifice. I would say you have to limit distractions. And I say you have to sacrifice a lot of your life. You have to love what you do. I'm not saying that you have to love it more than anything, but you have to love it to a certain degree.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So you have to limit distractions. You have to be willing to sacrifice time. You have to be willing to sacrifice your life as far as like missing out on things in order to be great. And just respect the game. Respect the game. If you respect the game, you would play the game the right way, and then you would give your time to the game.
Correct.
And you got to be a good decision maker. You got to figure out, okay, this is what I want to do. Now, how do I get there? And you have to ask dudes who've been before you, be connected to people that have been before you. That's one of the things I respect so much about, like, all of our Bahamian greats.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy, D.A., Keno, Eric, Clay, to name a few. All of them give back in different ways. Keno gives back, Buddy gives back, Clay, Eric, all of these guys give back in huge ways and to help the next generation of players. So I would say also connect yourself to guys who've been where you're trying to go and take their advice. You know what I mean?
Serious.
You have to take their advice because it's one thing to say desire. This is one of the most important things I can tell the young people that want to be great in this sport. Desire is not enough.
Right.
You have to be consistent. It's not enough to just have desire. Everybody have dreams and goals, and everyone have the desire. No. You have to move from desire to consistency, and you have to work every single day. You have to get up early. You have to stay late. And that seems like a lot, and it is a lot. Mm-hmm. That's why many people don't get a chance to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that would be my biggest advice. You limit distractions. You sacrifice your time and your life. Mm-hmm. You listen to those who have been before you. You get connected to them in some kind of way. Ask them for advice. Ask them for help. Those who pouring back into the country. And like I say, I just naming a few people because I don't want anyone to feel like I'm leaving them on purpose. I'm just naming a few people as they come to me. There's so many more people who pouring into the generation to come. So I would say get connected to those people and listen to them. Take heed to what they say. If should you be great, that's my biggest advice, bro. And you could do it.
Right, for sure.
You can do it because you see other people come before you
who've done it,
and they do it. So, but you have to believe. But the desire is not enough, bro. You have to be committed. You have to be consistent. You have to be willing to sacrifice a lot of things in order to be great.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. Yeah. Y'all had, right? Y'all had from the man himself. Bro. But at this part, I can just give you an opportunity. Shout out some people. I know, bro.
Yeah.
Your Instagram. I know, bro. If they don't know, you got a book. You know what I mean? Let people know, bro. Like, let people know.
Yeah, I wrote a book in 2018 called Purpose Driven. It's just a little autobiography of my life, my journey, my story. It's detailed, but it ain't. I wasn't really trying to get into depth in certain things. I just kind of, it's like 75.
Sprinkle.
So it's short of journey. But initially, I wrote the book not so people could see what I went through, but I wanted people to see how I responded to what I went through.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Right. It's not about everybody goes through. I said earlier in the that we all worry.
Correct.
Everyone do something, bro.
Correct.
Don't respond the right way.
Correct.
Everyone gets down. Everyone get up. Everyone regrets. Everybody doesn't from regret. Mm-hmm. I also wrote the book for people. Okay, wow, yeah, Tom, this, but that happened. You know what I mean? So that think it's a good book. Most people in one sitting. Very catchy book. You know, I wrote it. First chapter is from a person perspective. I talk about me and my parents, but I really using my name at the end. It's, but you know, I think it's very encouraging and inspirational. But
Sure.
it's about it, bro. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah, that's about it.
I got you, bro. Listen, bro, y'all get it out for yourself, bro. You got a legend, you know what I mean? I really appreciate him the time to give us them stories and shares experiences. And hopefully we can do this, sometime again. I think
Bro.
and thanks. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, no, appreciate me on, especially the first ones. I appreciate it.
Not one. The bro, he's a one, bro. He's a tough dog, bro. And I letting you know now I got some my humble coming, and once they come, I get you a shirt. That's the command day, and show my little appreciation taking time out to share and all.
No, I appreciate everyone. I appreciate you doing with the platform of letting the people hear the story. There's a lot of great stories, bro, and I hope a lot of players will, coaching, basketball world, player coach, will come just really to share some knowledge of what they're doing, because
that's a lot.
There's a lot of people. I mean,
we need to hear. We need to hear it. Hopefully, dog over help me with a little bit, but
I will for sure, because I believe.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it, dog. And I try, like you see my bro. I feel like stories need to be told, bro. Young people need to hear this. When they get where everyone, relatively young, bro.
Yes.
I don't want everyone get so old, people be forgetting. No, bro, let's try to get this in now. When we do that, you can look on this and I'm gonna say I this interview with
a lot more stories.
I didn't even, but now when I look back at the interview, I did say that. So we need stories, bro.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, bro. Keep doing it.
Appreciate you more, bro. And we could definitely do this again sometime.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right, later.
Yep.